Oh my gosh.
I'm sure it's not for everyone, but you're one of those like people who I think someone would probably stalk. You look stalkable.
I was stalked at one point.
You look
it was
highly
very
stalkable.
scary. Oh gosh.
Is that a compliment? You look stalkable.
I was actually stalked twice.
No way.
One by my ex-husband. Oh yeah.
What? And was the other one like a total stranger?
Mm-hmm. I was a waitress at the time, and he was really, really creepy. It was bad. He sent me to my parents' house, to my mother's house, a purple teddy bear. And his business was purple, like his business colors were purple, and it was a landscaping business. And he used to come into the restaurant all the time, and he had this purple. Everybody came in their purple shirts, and so Christmas comes around, or no, I don't even think it was Christmas. I was like 18 at the time, and he sent me a purple like Vermont teddy bear. Custom Vermont teddy bear. And I'm like, this is from this dude. Freaked out. And then 2 days later, I'm like driving home. He's like following me home.
No way.
Yeah.
And so what happened? Did he get out of his car or anything? Like
No. I had to turn around. I had to call the manager of the store and go back to the store. And he stopped following me. Yeah.
What?
It was so scary. 18-year-old girl, and he was like me, and he was like 50 something.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It's like that could have been a potential sugar daddy, but it's like, that route is just it's weird at that route.
Totally.
It's so funny. I feel like it's different for guys and girls who have stalkers. I actually had a stalker in college.
You did?
Maybe I think it was more of a secret admirer, but stalker sounds really cool. and she used to draw me as Harry Potter fan fiction.
Oh,
you know what that is?
I could actually see you being a little bit of a Harry Potter.
You know what fan fiction is?
No.
That's like when you draw other people in like a style. So she would put me in the Harry Potter universe, and normally it's like sexual.
Oh.
So like
some Sims shit.
Yeah, but like sometimes it can be X-rated. Normally fanfic is like Harry Potter brushed his wand against my leg. Yeah, I swear to God. And she would like send me this and slip under my dorm door and then like write me a note with it and everything. Isn't that crazy?
That's really crazy.
Yeah, but you had a real stalker. Like this girl, physically, she couldn't have taken me, but your stalker, you're 18. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, that was really, really creepy.
Oh my God. What's up, guys? Welcome to That's the Angle. And today I am joined by Brittany, aka Britt Noelle. Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm glad I could be your first podcast.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm super surprised by that.
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of public speaking and stuff as of lately. So April, and then did a panel recently, and then hosted a self-care retreat for women in August at the Willard here in D.C. All local to D.C. But yeah, so this is my first time.
Yeah, way less pressure.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is pressure.
No way.
For sure.
You get to just chill as a host. It's me who's the job to like carry everything.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes.
Well, anyways, congrats on your 2-year blog anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you even knew that, but
yes.
your first blog post was October 17th. So we're 3 days late.
Yeah.
But congrats on 2 years.
Thank you. Thanks. It's really been an evolution.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's changed and transformed a lot. I've been through a rebrand. I was, when I started the blog, it was called Hout Wanderlux, actually. And so I started it out. My cousin helped me name it. And so Hout is for fashion. And then Wanderlux because I do a lot of traveling. And I was like, I want to document all this stuff. And so I did Wander, like the play on Wanderlust, and I did Wanderlux.
Like L-U-X?
So L-U-X.
Like luxurious wandering?
Yes, yeah. And to this day, I still can't figure out how to change my Facebook page to brittnoelle.co. So it's still Hout Wanderlux. And I'm like in this huge fight with Facebook right now, trying to get...
good luck. It's like, and you don't want to start a new page because you have so much invested into this.
Oh my gosh. And like all of 150 followers, like likes on my Facebook page. Everybody's like, what is Hout Wanderlux? I'm like, don't worry about it.
So 2 years ago when you started and made that first blog post, like what were you thinking? Like what was the inspiration there? What was going through your mind?
Yeah. So, growing up, I always have loved fashion and loved just pulling pieces together and making a fun outfit, using different designers and pulling together just a really funky and cool outfit. I always, put my looks to the location that I'm going. So, for instance, went to Cuba about 3 years ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I just had a Cuban photojournalist on the show.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and he blew my mind. I was thinking it was like total communist Cuba, and he was like, no, dude, not at all.
Not at all. It was incredible. It was very, very beautiful. Yeah. And so, you know, even with Cuba, I was like, would plan all my outfits, you know, around the location that I was going to. So I was like, I have to document this because I want, you know, Olivia, my daughter, I have a 6-year-old, to, you know, to have all of this down in writing. And also Cuba at the time, and it kind of still is, but it's a little bit, it's not difficult to go there, but people don't know what to expect when they go. So I was looking at all of these blog posts about how to travel to Cuba and whatnot. It did not prepare you for the cash that you need to go to Cuba, by the way.
What do you mean the cash you need to go to Cuba?
You need cash because if you run out of money, you cannot use your cards unless you are, Canadian or European. The United States, you cannot use a credit card or a debit card in Cuba.
What?
Yeah.
That seems so crazy. Like, no, wow. Oh my God. You have to come loaded.
Oh, when I say loaded, like have enough, because I used, well, we won't get into the full story, but we thought that we could charge to the room and then our travel agency would just charge our American Express. Well, that didn't happen. So
you had to pay
we had to pay before we left, and they were holding us at the hotel and wouldn't let us leave. And we had to get home and get on that flight. And there was only like one flight a day.
So how'd you pay them? Like, did you have money?
Actually, the concierge gave us the cash that we needed. And because he had helped us Western Union money in from a family member, because we ran out of money once before. So we had his contact information and could Western Union money again. But Olivia was only 2 at the time, and I was freaking out.
That seems like a very important piece of info that someone should communicate on a blog before, like, you recommend someone going.
Yes. Yeah. So that, that whole experience, I was like, this needs to be written down. Like, people are going to want this information. So I started Hout Wanderlux, and just kind of, it transformed through a separation and through a divorce, and me kind of, turning internally and putting the focus not on myself and putting it onto how to help other women and how to help people in general. So kind of a giving mentality rather than making the focus about me and about the I guess superficial experience and whatnot.
Yeah, it seems like you like naturally had blogger tendencies going into it. Like you did your outfits, which is a huge blogger thing, and then you love to travel, which is a whole other blogger thing. So it's like the only thing left to do is just document it and tell people about it.
Exactly. So
it's like you were like the blogger before. You didn't have to force it. Like you weren't just like sitting on your couch and like, I want to look interesting on the internet.
Right.
You were like, oh shit, like. Yeah, I'm sure you were aware of it, but then you're like, you know what? I'm going to start here.
Right. And there wasn't any like formalized plan either. It was like, okay, how do I do a blog? I'm going to start my website. I'm going to go on WordPress, and I'm just going to like bug the shit out of the people at WordPress, like help support. And I'm going to build this website. And I did. And, it was, it's been great. It's been an experience, and it's been, like I said, an evolution to get to where I am today, which is completely different from where all of this was when I started.
Yeah, like where you are now, looking back when you were there, would you have imagined that it would have transformed, 2 years in the future? Would you imagine it would have looked like where you're at now?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I thought in December of 2017, 2 months after all of this happened, I was just, I don't even know if I thought I could survive this far, given everything that I've been through. So I think that, it
You keep alluding to like that you've been through shit. Was it, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but was it like the divorce that kind of triggered you into traveling and then this sort of thing that you're in sort of, is that what catapulted you, or am I wrong on that one?
I think that the the separation and the divorce transformed me because it taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me a lot about me as a mother, as a professional, as a human, really. I did a lot of yoga throughout all this. I've been practicing yoga for 12 years. And, it's been 2 years of just kind of evolving and transforming and becoming the woman that I'm supposed to be now. And I think before, getting married and having a child so young in life, and then
like how young? Like you were like 18?
I was 26 and 26 with Olivia when I had Olivia, and then 23 when I got married.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I'm 33 now, so.
I would not have guessed you were that young. Oh my God, that's crazy. It must have been, wow.
So my daughter comes home 2 days ago and she's like, Mama, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, what, Olivia? What? I'm so excited, and her face is just like glowing and like red, and she's like, I love Liam. And it's this little boy in her class. And I'm like, Olivia, you are 6 years old. No, get in the car. And then I turned back behind her and I'm reversing out of the driveway. And I'm like, Olivia, tell me the qualities that you love about Liam. What is it about him that you love? And she said, he is charming, he's handsome, and he always sits next to me at school. And so those qualities that she was saying that she loves about this little boy, Liam, at 6 years old was just really eye-opening to me,
really?
At 6.
To see what a 6-year-old values from someone they're attracted to.
Exactly. So anyway, I told her, nope, you're not getting married until you're 35.
Oh, she said she wanted to get married?
Yes. I forgot to mention that point. I'm like mind blown at this throughout this whole conversation. She's like, Mama, I'm going to marry Liam. And she's like, but don't tell Liam's mommy. And I'm like, you're telling me this because we don't keep secrets in our family, right? And she goes, yes.
It's got to be interesting to like be a parent and to try and navigate someone else through like and project like the values of what they should expect from someone on them.
Absolutely. And for me as a mom, what's been really great is throughout all of this process, for the past 2 years, I've there's been a lot that's gone on. Olivia's had a lot of back and forth movements between households and moving out of one apartment, moving in with my father for 3 months to come up with resources to just live and survive. Yeah. And she saw that struggle, and she was empathetic throughout the whole thing, but also very happy, and it didn't affect her. And she was just a vibrant little girl, throughout the whole thing, and very resilient as well. And so what we do, no matter where we are, is we do positive affirmations. Okay. And so we take dry erase markers on her mirror and we say, I am, and we do the qualities of her. So she says, I am strong, I am powerful, I am beautiful. And we do those affirmations every single day, no matter where we are, what we're doing. So instilling those qualities is
that's so amazing. Like I'm so far from being a parent, but like just concepts like that and doing stuff with your kids seems like such a great way to make sure that they're just brought up in a great environment and a positive self-image. Yes. And like, is she at the age where she's dealing with social media yet?
No.
Because I'm sure that's going to come in handy. Your eyes got so big.
No.
I can only imagine when she's like, Mom, when can I get a cell phone?
Right.
Like, when she gets a cell phone, it's pretty much game over. I imagine at that point, it's like, here's the entire world.
Absolutely. Well, what I do, the reason why I do a lot of this and do a lot of this speaking and working with other women right now is because how can we transform the way social media is going? Because, my brother is 20, I believe. Yeah, he's 20 this year in October. And I saw the suicide rates going up at his high school.
Oh yeah, with teens. It's actually through the roof, I've heard.
It's insane. And there's a common denominator with it all, right? It's like social media wanting to be this, this perfect influencer, or this perfect person, or, you know, this athlete, or, you know, having this specific car, this specific house. And so I want my child to grow up in a different type of, I guess social media world would be the right way, where we're lifting each other up, where we're empowering one another, and we're not breaking each other down by posting to make, you know, to build this image.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to social, I kind of feel like it's not so much about, like, I don't think we can transform social, and this is my opinion, but I think it's, you can control how you react to it, because there will always be trolls, there will always be haters, there will always be bullies, and it's like those affirmation practices like you do, it's like stuff, I feel like stuff like that is, you know, it's changing how you react to it. You know, like, oh, it's just some random guy online who left me a crappy post on my YouTube video, which has happened to me plenty of times. I can't tell you how many fucking trolls I've got. Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
But in a way, there is some validity to those kinds of comments, but we don't need to get
No. But yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. Absolutely. But yeah, I think that if we try to at least, you know, at least what I do is put out truth and authenticity and just realness, and just making that at the forefront of everything that's being done, and every post and every, you know, message. I think that it will be a good transfer.
I gotta shut this window because I swear to God, I hear little kids talking outside.
Oh, you do?
We'll just talk for a second so I can just...
No, that's okay. I didn't even know that the window was open. This is a really cool space, though, Bruce. I really like it.
Yeah, I cracked the window because it can get a little steamy in here.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is actually, we're in Homme, D.C, which is actually an art gallery here in Washington, D.C. I feel like I don't plug this space enough.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I walked in and I was like, I feel like I'm being kind of morphed into the 90s back here with this. With these like cameras, so it's really, really cool. I love it.
With like the stack of televisions. Yeah, normally that's actually the backdrop, but I switched it up today. I felt like having this amazing artwork. And the artist honestly should have put his name around here because I cannot remember who it is.
You know, there was this place that I went to yesterday. I went to one of my friend's new yoga studios called Uprising Yoga in Georgetown, and there was this spot made in D.C.
Oh, I love Made in DC.
Oh my gosh, so cool. I spent like 45 minutes in there. It was fantastic. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love what they do, just sourcing all local trades and goods and makers and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I feel like more cities need to do that.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. Oh, God, I mean, we look so good sitting right
it's
here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Made in DC.
Hashtag DC.
Yeah, but like you were just saying, you said that one of your goals is to empower. Like you kind of brought that up a few times. Like, it's so funny because that's not something you have to do as a blogger. Like no one says you have to do that. Like any blogger could be fine just posting fits and linking to their brand post, but you really seem to go out of your way to like empower women to be a better version of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So I realized that, again, when I took the focus off of myself and I figured out what my why was and my mission, my content just became more like, it just kind of spilled out of me, like you know,
because it's real to you.
Absolutely.
When it's authentic, it's so easy to turn that into anything you have to say.
Absolutely. And, you know, I brought this up a couple of days ago, actually, with a few people. They were actually the panel event for the Fashion Institute of DC. Excuse me. And we were discussing like the social media strategies and what that is. And for me, my social media strategy really isn't a strategy at all. It's just kind of like putting content in words and just imagery and all of that out there to connect with women in a deep and authentic way. And for me, it's not the other bloggers. I love my blogging community. Don't get me wrong. They're fantastic and wonderful people. But my why and my purpose is to connect with the women that don't have a voice, the women that don't want to comment because they don't want, you know, somebody to see that they're relating to a topic that I post about when it comes to, you know, PTSD or domestic assault or, you know, anything like that. So my purpose is to connect with those women, those silent women, the death by Thousand Cuts women that are in these marriages and want to get out, but just can't, and they don't know how. So those are the types of people that I want to connect with.
That's a crazy concept as I've gotten older, is that concept of the women trapped in the marriages. But just before we talk about that, like what you said, everything you said was just so beautiful, what you just said. And that's it seems like you just know exactly your why. And every business professional is like, you got to know your why, but you know exactly. But what I love is that you said, it wasn't even a strategy. Like it's not a strategy. You're literally just being your authentic you. And it's not like, well, if I post this on Monday at 4:00 and talk about empowerment, then this cult of people and women, like, and empowerment's a small niche in DC, let's just do that. Like, it just came natural, and it wasn't some sort of scheme to get a ton of followers, because looking at your followers, you know, you're almost at 50K, and you would not think someone who's only been doing it for 2 years could get that far. And even when I first became aware of you, I was like, yo, like, she's completely crushing it. So to hear that's only been 2 years, I'm like, you know, there's only one way you can get there, and that's by being authentic. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I did start out my page with my modeling and then How Wanderlux. And so I did have a lot, you know, I deleted a lot of stuff from the past. You know, when I was probably 2 years ago, this time, maybe a year and a half ago, I deleted a lot. And then because for me, my past definitely does, it has made me who I am today, but it doesn't define me. And so I wanted the things that I looked at on my own page to bring me joy. And so I made those decisions to do that. So definitely my social media has been around a lot, and it's just evolved, like I said, and changed and grown and kind of grown with me as a mid-20s to early 30s woman.
Wow. And you said, you know, you're talking about helping those women. It's so interesting to help from your past experiences, because it's just like, you've gone through it, and you're, you know, hopefully at least on the opposite side, but you know, you don't always have to be completely healed on everything.
Oh no. And it's, you know, therapy is great. I see a therapist every week.
Wow.
And I encourage people to seek out support and seek out help.
What is that like?
Therapy?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I could have gotten through what I got through the past 2 years without my therapist.
Really?
Yeah, she is incredible, very like-minded and professional. I've followed her to her own practice, and just having that support and that having the unbiased, I think, is very important. The unbiased support is key, especially for people that are going through kind of like a transitional period in their life, you know?
You feel like you've been going through a transitional period?
Absolutely.
Really?
100%.
In what way?
Well, in a lot of ways. For one, transitioning from a very materialistic mindset and lifestyle to more of a, you know, what brings me joy, that I'm surrounded with. Like, I don't need 10 million Chanel bags or 5 to make me happy. They just sat in my closet, you know? So transforming a lot just from a materialism perspective. Also transforming, you know, my yoga practice and my meditation practice as well. The way I travel has completely changed. And
did you recognize that you were you recognize within yourself that you were valuing material things, like you were working towards them or something? What was it about the materialism that we were caught up on?
Oh, I have chills right now. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
It covered up me. They were my mask.
Ooh.
So the car, the house, the handbags, the clothes, they defined me. And they made me this image of this perfect person. But I never felt me. And once I removed last year, I got rid of all of my furniture. I sold everything. I donated 75% of my clothing, excuse me,
It's like
Take a sip of water.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to project the person that you thought you should look like, or either the person, or was it like the person you thought people think you should look like?
Absolutely. I think it's twofold. So the person that I thought people would like and would relate to, and then also covering up what was really underneath. And I talk about this a lot, is Rapunzel's tower.
Yeah.
So Rapunzel's tower, to me, I was Rapunzel at the top, but the tower was also keeping me away from my people, like the people that I was relating, that I wanted so badly to relate to and to connect with. But, you know, once that tower was gone, and all the clothes and that didn't bring me joy, all of the material items that was just suffocating me was gone. The tower was gone. And then there I was, barefoot, almost literally, with the people that I wanted so badly to connect with.
So what was the moment that you kind of like became woke? And
from a materialism
perspective?
Perspective?
Like what was, do you remember that moment, or was like a thing?
I do.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have I don't know if I'm going to try and talk around it a little bit.
Okay, yeah, please do.
But I was supposed to have a very important few days in June to wrap up some things that I'd been working towards, and it got pushed out to December. And I was living in a very expensive luxury apartment, and I realized I can't pay my bills. Like, I can't do this. And so I realized all of this stuff here, this isn't me. It's like that quote from Kanye when he says, like, you got a $5,000 bag, but you don't have a dime to put in it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Do you know?
I feel like he said so many great lines like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I would run to it and I would think to myself, oh my God, that's me. You know, and it wasn't because I didn't. It was just because I was literally being bled dry from like a resources perspective to try and get out of a very toxic situation. So anyway,
but it makes sense, because it's like you went through something, and I'm guessing the toxic situation was divorce, and to cover that up, it's like, I'm gonna get this nice apartment. Like, I'm a new woman. Like, you're trying to show everyone that I'm better than this. I'm a new woman, but you're still dealing with it. But this is like how you project it and try to like make it feel good. And it might actually feel good in the moment, you know? And then it's like when you finally like metaphorically like hit the weed or something, and you're just like, whoa, like I now have an expensive apartment. I can't pay rent. I have thousands of dollars of bags that I wear like once a month. What do I like really want?
Not even once a month.
Really?
No.
I don't even own anything like that, so I don't know.
No. Yeah. So
flexing with it.
So that's when that's literally when I told myself, I'm getting rid of everything. I'm going to shed everything I own, and Olivia and I are going to move in with my dad, because that's what we have to do. And we're going to survive. You
got to swallow your pride so hard to do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I left that apartment, sold everything, moved in with my dad, fell asleep after moving in. And I literally slept for 15 hours in my dad's house. Wow. And I hadn't been able to sleep past like 8 hours. And so it was like, I finally felt that moment of just like protection, being in my dad's home.
Yeah.
You
like
know?
The safest place you could possibly be.
100%.
Like at home. You don't have to worry about not paying rent next month. You can just reset and reflect and be you. I mean, I've done that myself. I've reset and quit everything and went back home too. And sure, people might think it looks bad, but I don't give a shit. I think everyone should try it at some point.
Absolutely.
If you need to. Not everyone goes through it, but it's there's nothing wrong with it. And it's a way, and not everyone has supportive families, and I feel you on that.
Yeah.
And sometimes people get bitter about that and try and put that on you, but it's like, look, like that's the beauty of family.
Yeah. And it's sometimes it's what you have to do to survive. You
Big
get
facts.
in survival mode, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do what I have to do to make it to tomorrow. And so, So yeah, that's what we did. Kept all of Olivia's stuff together.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But from my perspective, everything went. And, it was interesting because, Homme was my dad's, right? But I always go back to yoga. And so for me, home is my mat. And so no matter where I am in the world, no matter where I am or what I'm doing, if I have a mat, and it doesn't even have to be mine, but if I have a mat and I get there and I get into my practice and I get into the zone and I'm, breathing, that's home to me. And so I think that is where the shift happened.
Yeah. I was like literally just thinking that. Was it the yoga that that coming into your life that kind of awakened you to kind of this new you and realizing all these things about yourself?
I think it was yoga, and it was also support groups through Al-Anon as well.
What's that?
Al-Anon is a support group for people that are dealing with addiction, not personally, but dealing with people in their life that have addiction.
Oh, okay, mm-hmm. Okay.
So it was the support group with them, my yoga community, and just yoga in general. And so, practicing with the same studio for 12 years.
Oh.
I would just come in every time I would be in this like moment of defeat or, and I would just keep showing up on my mat, and I'd literally just be crying on my mat in down dog, and tears would just flow.
It's flowing down your forehead.
Right. But, and it wasn't sweat dripping, it was tears, but, in the beginning, but I'll tell you, there were some breakthrough moments there. Like
while you were sort of in that meditative mindset?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you meditate outside of the yoga, or is the yoga for you the meditation itself?
Both. Yeah. So with yoga, it's more of a moving meditation through breath. And then with just meditating calmly, it's just deep breath work. Meditating is hard. It's hard to calm the mind.
It really is.
And so, for me, it's a constant practice of trying to get calm. And, I find myself getting lost in thought and then having to bring myself back to my breath. And then
do you actually take time and sit there and do it for a certain amount of time?
When I'm not practicing yoga, yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
I need to get back to doing it more. But with yoga, I try and practice every single day.
No way. In the morning?
In the morning.
Okay.
And whenever I have time. I mean, when I don't have my daughter, I go to them in the morning. And then when I don't, sometimes I'll go at lunch, break away from work. And so to kind of talk about yoga, for me, when I started yoga 12 years ago, wow. I had crippling anxiety and panic attacks.
Whoa.
And so I was just trying to find something that would try and help me in some way. And so I was on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine and, Xanax, and just trying to calm myself and my brain from getting worked up and, having these debilitating panic attacks. And so when I found yoga, I started practicing, and, it was challenging, but I kept going back and back and back. And then slowly I realized I don't need this pill anymore.
Really?
Yeah. And so I stopped taking my medicine, my anxiety medicine, and I haven't had a panic attack with everything for the past 2 years that I've gone through. Yoga has been my safe space, my calming, Why do you say
pill? Why do you say past 2 years instead of the past 10 or 12?
Because I think that the past 2 have been the most challenging of my entire life.
Really?
Getting through this kind of transitional period, but in a different type of way, right? Because for a long time, the anxiety would cripple me and the panic attacks would cripple me. But yoga helped me cope. and it's, panic attacks and anxiety never go away. You have to manage it.
Yeah.
And so I found out my way to manage my anxiety, and that was through yoga. And so the past 2 years, while this would have broken me, my yoga practice and my therapist and my community through, even on social media and the women that send me the messages, the silent women that I call them, they, all of those things packaged up have really just lifted me up throughout this whole thing. And it's been a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's so nice that you have, you do have such like a natural, like positive aura around you. And I am not a spiritual person, but like when I talk to you, you're always just like very happy and just like, it just seems very positive. It's always cool. We always like have fun when we're shooting and stuff like that. But there's something to be said about yoga. I think, it's not just the spiritual and mental and the meditational qualities. I think it's also the physical that goes a little overlooked. I think there's a lot to be said about people who are dealing with mental illnesses or just mental problems. I'm just gonna say illnesses. I don't know. That physical exercise actually helps, like the chemicals and the endorphins that you get going by, physically tasking yourself, in those little progress increments. Like I couldn't hold down dog for a minute. Now I can hold it for 2 minutes. Oh, that feels great. That's a dopamine hit. Or, just the sweat or anything. Like there's so many little aspects of yoga I feel like are just a little underlooked besides the, hippy dippy guru stuff.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. And, yoga at first can be it can help you with those things that maybe, the mental stuff, but yeah, it's a very physical practice. But it definitely transforms your body in a lot of ways. It's called, mind, body, spirit.
Yeah.
It's mental, it's physical, and it's also spiritual. And, I try whenever I travel, and in general too, just go to different yoga studios, because every instructor carries their own story and their own journey and brings their own technique to the class. And so
you're so right. I've done a lot of yoga too, not nearly as much as you, but I've had multiple different teachers, and there's definitely some teachers I have a connection with, and there's some teachers I'm like, you're not really my style. Yeah, it's like they're all their own little artist.
Yeah,
they're all their own artists and kind of teach it in a way. Is there a certain, like, if someone's listening, and I'm also paying a lot of attention because I have a friend who's dealing, like a close friend that's dealing with a lot of issues that you've mentioned. Is there a certain kind of yoga or a certain amount of times a week they should go a day? Like, what's your recommendation there?
Yeah. So I'll bring up a story because I've been listening to James Wedmore a lot. He's another podcaster that you've listened to. And he talks a lot about bringing in stories. And I want to bring in a story.
Oh, please do. I love stories.
So when I was in Bali, I went to Bali for 9 days over the summer, backpacked alone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do yoga. This is going to be like this amazing yoga experience. Bali, you think Bali and yoga and like perfect. Eat, pray, love, because it was my own eat, pray, love. Right. And so I go to Bali and I'm like, I'm going to practice all this yoga. Anyway, I get there, and first of all, it's incredible. The most amazing place I've ever been in my entire life. I felt so connected to myself and to the universe and to people all alone across the world. Felt more connected than ever there.
Dumb question. Where's Bali again?
Indonesia.
Okay, I thought so. Okay.
By Malaysia.
Okay. Yeah, I'm dumb geographically, so I had to ask.
You're not. You're great. So anyway, I go to Bali and I'm expecting one thing, and like that yoga is going to be this big part of my my journey.
Yeah.
And I get there and I notice that the Balinese people, they don't practice yoga. There's places within Bali that do practice yoga, but it's more for tourism. And so
like it wasn't a part of the culture.
No.
Oh.
I think that definitely mindfulness and healers and things of that nature are definitely a part of the Balinese and culture and in Bali, but the people don't have time to practice yoga.
Oh, wow.
They don't have time. So the last day that I'm there, I'm just taking it all in. I'm, spending a lot of time with the locals. I've didn't even, hang out with any of the tourists that were there. I was in Ubud most of the time. And I'm connecting with the woman that was my house. She was like the house person for the Airbnb I was staying in. And her name was Agung. And she said, "You're here all alone." And I said, "Yeah, I am." And she goes, "I could never do that. I could never go anywhere alone and travel alone. I'm too scared." And I'm like, no, don't say that. If you say that, you're never going to do it. And I was like, and we went through this whole story about her mother dying at a very young, when she was a very young girl, and having to take care of her brother, and her father just couldn't work. He was too devastated. And so she's had to work her entire life to support her family.
Wow.
And so, she's just like getting into tears and weeping with me. And I said, do you ever meditate or just sit down? And she said, "I don't have time. I don't have time to do yoga or meditation, And so we sit on the floor together and we just breathe. And we close our eyes, and I teach her. My car is right outside, and I'm about to go to the airport, and I'm having this beautiful moment with the Agung. And so we sit down, and for 5 minutes, if that, we just sit together and we hold hands and we just breathe together. And I said, you have to just make 5 minutes for yourself.
Yeah.
Just take 5 minutes. And so I hope that I left there giving her that to just know that she needs to take that time for herself to be, and there's a lot more backstory to it, but I gave you the kind of snapshot version.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, taking just that time to be alone in your own body and breath is where magic happens. You don't have to go to the studio, and it's great to be part of community, and it's great to do, to practice, with people, but you can even sit just in your own space where you're most comfortable and breathe and just follow your breath in and out. And that's where you can find the most healing, really.
That's a cool story. It's like the whole Bali trip, and I'm just going to guess that might have been like one of your favorite moments there. It's like this
100%.
This deep connection with a stranger halfway across the world who's got the most stressful life I'm sure you can imagine. It's just
yeah.
Your life is harder than mine.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But recommending to anyone who's trying to consider using it, it's not even that you have to go to class. It's just focus on your breathing. Focus
on breathing, and focus on just your breath in and out of your body, and just being calm. And I mean, obviously going to yoga is great. And for anybody that's struggling with anxiety or depression or whatever, like you said, it is a physical practice to get your blood flowing and stuff like that. But, I think that for anyone, yoga is so much more than a physical practice. It's also a mental, like I said, mind, body, and spirit. That's definitely, if she hears this and wants to connect with me, I will help her.
So if I bought her like a few classes, is there a certain style I should like buy her, or should I, like, what is it, like, should I buy her like 2 things for hot yoga, or should I buy her like vinyasa yoga? Should it be like power yoga? Like, am I just stupid? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just finding a good studio around would be good. Like, I go to, for DC folks, Down Dog Yoga. And then my friend also has a studio called Uprising Yoga Studio, very different from Down Dog, but also very, very just homey and more, just kind of like.
So like try them until you kind of find one.
Yeah, you like. That's what I would do.
Okay, but just start. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's like the whole class pass thing that everyone's doing now.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know. But what's really interesting is that's like, it seems like you love to share and to hopefully impact, and at some point, it's nice to change someone's life, and whether you've done it or not, I don't know. But you mentioned something about like silent not admirers. You said silent fans or silent, what would you say?
The silent women.
The silent women. And are these women that reach out to you who are affected by what you kind of put out there on social media?
Yep.
Really? And I mean, you don't have to tell me about any of the things in general, but what is that like? How crazy that these people sort of just like spill their guts to you? What is that?
They reach out and they ask me questions, and they know that they're going to come to a space where they're not going to be judged. I have chills again. And I know when it's something that I'm really passionate about, I get chills, and I love these women. And, they reach out and they just ask me, when did you know it was time?
Wow.
And so,
yeah, I can tell that you're really impactful. Like you're like starting to tear up and stuff too. Like it means that much to you that like, like maybe there could have been someone for you when you were in that stage, and now that's like you.
I felt so alone.
Yeah.
I didn't have anyone. And the people that I loved most were telling me to stay.
Wow. And to stay in that toxic environment.
Yeah. Because of my religion, because of my child, because of society. And so, we have to do what we know is best. And for me, I knew I had to get out. I knew that it was going to be really bad if I didn't. And so I did. And it was the best decision I could have ever made for him. First and foremost for him, and for my daughter and for myself. And we're in a much better and much more healthy place as a family, because we are a family, in a much better place as a family now than ever. And it was really, really difficult to have the people that you love most telling you to stay.
Yeah, and then try to hold you to it, like with the whole religion aspect, which is something I've heard, and I know people close to me who are... Are you Catholic or Christian?
I'm Catholic. Yeah.
Even more so Catholic. It's like that's such a sacred thing in the Catholic religion.
Yeah.
I know. I grew up Catholic. I know how it works. It's like divorce is a taboo thing. You don't ever want to be looked at someone who's been divorced or for what it is. Like people will spend their whole lives being miserable as fuck just so they can look good to the one or two church members that know about what they're going through, and like sacrifice their whole life for it.
Yeah, it's the Catholic guilt.
Oh, there you go. The Catholic guilt.
It's the Catholic guilt. And I come from a very Irish Catholic family.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's the Catholic guilt. And, I even felt it afterwards when my daughter goes to Catholic school, and I felt it. I saw it in the eyes of the other parents. The eyes of the other parents, I could see the judgment.
Like they knew you were like going through something, and they were like, you better like, really? Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely judgment. And then, once the dust settled and they got to know me for who I am and not for my circumstance, it became a lot, they became a lot more like warmed up and, without knowing too much, obviously. I keep that very separate. I don't want to muddy any of those types of waters, but definitely just, it got better in time. But yeah, so the silent women, those are the women that listen to me speak and come to, the events and then reach out to me on the side, and, I absolutely wish that I had that when I was going through what I was going through in my friend circle. I did have some really good friends that were there for me, but yeah, just somebody that was relatable, that I could, be like, oh my gosh, she knows exactly what I'm going through right now. I need her advice.
That's so cool. Like it's such like a non-selfish thing to do is to actually care about and to respond to people.
Yes.
Like you could totally just put it on as a front and not respond to these people. But I'm sure you take time out of your day.
Oh, it's my mission in life. That is my yes. Absolutely.
To empower
women to be the best versions of themselves, and also not to conform to the way that society thinks they should be.
Ooh. Like, be a badass. Go do what you got to. Dump that man. Move out. Move home. Figure out what you want in life.
It's so funny that you say that, because it's not even, I say this a lot too on my blog and through my writing, is that it doesn't have to be a divorce. It doesn't have to be, it could be that situation at work or something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or it could be anything. It doesn't, somebody at one of my events, I was talking about self-limiting beliefs and the stories, quote unquote, that I would tell myself that held me back from being my best version. And I had six things, like, my car, my house, my shoes, they all define me. And like, if I get divorced, I'm a failure. All men lie, cheat, steal, and abandon. And all of these things that held me back. And I went through some of my experience, and she said, you know what? And it was a Q&A. And she's like, I woke up one day, was going to this, I don't know where she was going. If she's listening, she'll know. She'll be like, oh, that's me. But she's like, I didn't want to wear this red lipstick because I thought it didn't make me look like my best self or whatever. And she was like, but you know what? I was like, this red lipstick is, I could never wear red lipstick. I'm going to put red lipstick on today.
Ooh.
And she felt so good that she wore that red lipstick. So case in point, it doesn't have to be a divorce. It doesn't have to be a toxic relationship or an abusive relationship. It could be red lipstick, and you just overcoming and getting through that, that self-doubt or that mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. It doesn't have to be like some grand life-altering thing. It could just be like, I feel fat or whatever it might be that, women tend to think. I don't know. And how do they communicate? Do you have like a Facebook group or something? Is it an Instagram DMs? Like, what's
Instagram DMs mostly. And it's interesting that you bring that up, because I was just talking with a few folks yesterday. I'm sorry, there's like something in my throat.
Yeah, no worries. Take some water if you need to. It's all good. No worries.
But they were talking about coming up with a part of my blog that could be an open forum, like a private open forum, like kind of a group. So I've been playing around with that idea a lot. So, I think that I'm going to put that out to some folks and see if that would be something that they would be interested in, some of these women. But yeah, it's definitely DMs. I share my number,
really?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I share my number because I want to, I'm available and I'm here for anybody that's in a moment or needs help, We're doing an event, Isoki.
Yeah, I know. It's PR, yeah.
Yep. So we're doing an event on December 5th.
Okay.
For Doorways. So we're going to be at Alice and Olivia, and 10% of the proceeds of the night goes to Doorways. We're going to have music and...
What's Doorways?
Yeah. So Doorways is a nonprofit organization that helps women getting out of domestic violence, abusive situations, and helps them back into... into getting them back into into any type of housing or living arrangement or anything like that.
Makes sense. The name Doorways.
Yep. Yeah. And then we're doing toy drive and having toys donated to a wider circle. So
who should go?
Anybody. Yes. Anybody should go. It's going to be a great night for a good cause. And, it is literally like everything goes to charity. And this year, actually, I want to actually do a little thing here for Christmas. We're getting up to Christmas.
Okay.
And my motto is giving back this year. So I've made it my goal for everybody outside of Olivia, because Santa comes, everybody that I would normally get gifts for, I'm asking them to pick their own charity. And then I'm going to donate what I would spend on them in whatever gift. And I'm going to donate in their name to their charity of choice.
Wow. Man, so is someone going to be upset if you only get them like a $10 gift?
No. 20 at least. So
that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, like giving back this year. instead of being so consumer driven. Like let's give back and do that. So that's my call to action.
So altruistic. Jesus, that's so cool. I do not have that in me. I don't know where you find that, but it does not exist within my body. I'm like, all right, I'll get you a card or a photo. I give everyone photos now.
Oh, that's
I print and I'll go to IKEA and get a frame, and I'll give everyone photos now.
That's a great idea. I did get my dad a Nationals from the I Made DC store, a Nationals watercolor, so I'm gonna frame that. But he's gone above and beyond this year.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Whenever I give someone like a framed photo, I don't just give someone a photo. If I'm gonna give you a photo, I always frame it. And whenever you frame it, you have to like put the paper behind it and the back behind it, and then you put it in there. But I no one's ever caught it. But whenever I've sold a photo or done that, I always write on the back of the photo like a note to the person.
Oh,
yeah, like and I always personalize it, but I don't. But what's funny is that most people don't open the photo. Like I'm sure most people. So I think that in like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when they maybe like drop it or for some reason they're like throwing it away or they just want the photo out, they'll be like, holy shit, this guy actually wrote something on there.
It's like what is it called? Like a time capsule.
Yeah, in a way, it kind of like I don't remember, but if I ever gave you a photo that's framed, you should probably look at the back of it. Probably something sappy on the back of it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know. What can I say?
I'm waiting on mine.
Yeah, so my charity is actually going to be my bank account, so you could donate to that too.
There you go.
Know, that could be my gift.
That's hysterical.
That's exciting. That's an exciting. That's on December 5th.
That's on December 5th. Yes, okay. Alice and Olivia, Georgetown.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
It'll be a fun night.
That sounds like a fun night.
Yeah.
And is it gonna be like you empowering people, or is it just like let's come together?
Let's come together, have fun, and for a good cause.
Nice.
Nice.
So at this point in your career as a blogger, like what's on the forefront in your mind? Like what are you looking towards in the future? Like what's on the burner for you?
That's a really good question. And again, it's evolving.
Yeah. But at this point, if there's anything you could point to.
Yeah. So I'm working on, planning out my strategy a month in advance from a writing perspective. So I have about 10 topics that I want to talk about, and I'm just trying to find the time to do it.
Okay.
I want to, definitely talk more about Bali. I feel like that was, I was enlightened in Bali for sure. Felt more connected to people than I've ever felt in my life.
Have you ever taught a yoga class?
I have, yeah.
Okay, it makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, of course you have. Jesus, 12 years.
I've only 100 hours in, I must say, but teacher training. But yeah, so that actually was amazing. But anyway, so, my book is definitely on the forefront of my mind.
And you have a book you're working on?
I'm working on a book right now.
What can we talk about that? What can we drop about that? Is it about empowerment, or what's up with that?
So when I went to Bali, I'm going to go back there. Yeah. I saw a healer, and it was a beautiful experience. He gave me a lot of insight and provided me with some unasked for guidance.
Really?
Yeah, that I think was, from the universe telling me, or giving me some type of layup. Basically, it's not going to be a novel or a memoir. It'll definitely be story driven. I think there's going to be a lot of flashbacks and a lot of childhood, a lot of just transforming as a woman, and overcoming great obstacles and finding the power and the courage from within to get through it, and just the journey overall, and coming up with kind of a framework around it.
That's so cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, so like you're kind of planning it all out essentially.
Oh yeah, the outline and all of that.
When do you think you're going to release it?
Oh my gosh, I mean probably 3 years from now.
Oh, okay, so this is like a long work in progress.
I don't know. Someone could come and pick it up and want to go and be like, all right, Brittany, go for it. You have 6 months. I don't know. We'll see.
That's so cool. Cause we were talking about this in the car the other day, before on the shoot, and we were talking about how, like, and this was my opinion, how I think brands and bloggers, and essentially you're a brand, that you should be putting out your own products
100%.
And I think something like a book is cool, but even beyond that, like your own yoga class that you host once a week or whatever it is, it's like,
yes,
as in my opinion, as Instagram is on the downfall and that likes are pretty much going to be gone by the end of this month. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. How is that looking towards you, like you and your brand deals? Like how are the brands reacting towards the likes on Instagram disappearing? And how do you feel about it?
It has no effect on me, quite honestly, because I'm not a brand's, I don't go after brands. Oh. So if a brand comes to me and they're aligned with my mission and my goals, then I will absolutely partner with them. Alice and Olivia was a big advocate for me, and vice versa, because, the designer Stacey Bendit is very, about women empowerment and very into yoga, and she just aligns with me so much. And then, just kind of working with other brands and designers that are more, I like to work with more local brands, to be honest with you, like you say, like DC brands and stuff like that. But, just trying, just not going, I don't really go after anybody. I let them come. And if it's something I want to get involved in, then I will absolutely entertain it. And it's not even about the money for me. It never has been.
It's so cool to hear you're not slave to these brand deals like some people. No. You have like a full-time job besides blogging.
I do.
Which is crazy, because as much as you do, it seems like it's what you do full-time, but at the same time, that's why you're not slave to these brands.
Yes, correct. I have a full-time job, and I've worked my way, like crawled my way up to the like really climbed, not crawled, climbed. And, I think that really, those are it was my value system, like, that got me to where I am. I don't have a college degree.
Oh, wow.
I have, I work for a top 5 management consulting company in the world.
Oh.
And that's determination. That is.
You made that happen yourself.
Yeah. Professionalism, and it's drive that got to where I am now. So yeah, I'm very lucky in that way, where I don't have to, be a slave to brands. I would never, oh my gosh, I'd rather quit than do that.
But that's so cool, because I think that says a lot about why you even do what you do. You probably make good enough money where you don't have to become a blogger. You don't have to do all these things. You're not in it for the wrong reasons, like some people can be in, where they want the free Alice and Olivia clothes, or they want that brand deal or this free event or this free event. But for you, it's totally like, no, like this is what I actually care about doing.
No. And I model as well. So I do modeling. I model for 3 agencies on the East Coast. So I make, it's all about bringing in multiple streams of income too. So I do that, but I don't make any money off of my Instagram at all.
Really?
$0.
No way.
0.
That's crazy.
Any charity event I've worked for, yes. I'm like Donald Trump. I will send you those. Or did he ever send those, by the way?
Send what?
Those, what are they? The tax forms or whatever during the election?
I don't know if he did the tax returns.
I probably didn't. I mean, knowing him. But anyway, like, I swear, yeah, I've, like, charity events, not a dime.
You've had, I'm sure, plenty of great brand deals approach you, no?
No.
Really? Mm-mm. You haven't had someone be like, yo, I'm going to give you $1,000 to wear this Jord watch?
No.
Really?
No.
You've got 44K on the gram, and that's never happened. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I get free things.
Of course.
So that's a definite. But I don't push back. I mean, money is not a driver for me.
Yeah, I think
even
that's
though
cool.
I lived with my dad for 3 months. No, but it's really
where money was very important.
No, but it really, even then, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, we're going to get through this. We're going to survive. It's going to be fine. It's just not, money isn't the driver. I had a lot of money. I could do whatever I wanted. I could buy whatever I want, go wherever I want, do whatever I want. Like, didn't matter. I had it all, and then I didn't.
Oh, so it's, going back to me asking about the likes, it's like, I guess it really doesn't matter to you because it didn't matter in the first place. It's like how you measure might be how people respond in the outreach that you get. Oh, that's so fascinating. I've had some bloggers on the podcast, and they're not to knock them, but they have multiple brand deals in the works, shooting for this, shooting for that. And I don't know how much of that. Now going forward, I'm going to ask them, like, so do you reach out to them, or are they reaching out to you? Like, what's the deal here?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like with modeling. I get paid to model.
True.
So, there's definitely that. I get paid to do that. But I'm finding that now I'm not, doing the modeling gigs that don't align with who I am, because I'm at the end of the day, modeling, you're a face, right? And so I want to be deeper than just a face. And so having, Joy at Kingsley now and Will at Vi, and having them know who I am as an individual and push me as Brittany, as a person, and not as a face. They know where you
stand with it. Yeah,
exactly.
Like, I'm not going to do your stupid bikini that I don't believe in. It's kind of like,
yes.
Well, if it's worth it, I'll do like something that more aligns with your personal brand.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can't pay me $100,000 to go put something on and model for someone that I don't believe in.
$900,000? No. I'd wear a man thong for $100,000 straight up for Grindr magazine. So when you gonna start a podcast or start a YouTube channel?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
once you teach me all of the audio and the video and all of that stuff.
Well, I promise you that's not important. What's important is actually doing it.
Yeah.
If you had to choose, would you go video or would you go audio?
Well, you need audio with video.
What I'm saying, like if you had to choose, like starting a YouTube channel or like a podcast, what would you do?
Oh, probably audio.
No way. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
I would have totally guessed you'd have like done vlogging.
No.
You ever thought of vlogging?
Yeah.
I feel like you could do that so easily.
Really? Maybe I should look into it. I should probably look into it.
I feel like vlogging is like if I was a blogger, I would be transitioning into vlogging. And I see a lot of people on Instagram trying to, like, they're like, oh, we need to start moving to YouTube, which I think, in my opinion,
that's actually a very good idea.
Yeah, because a vlog, it's the same thing. You're just, how is a vlog any different than just being on your Instagram story? Except it's just a little longer, and you could make money off it from YouTube. You can have a lasting impact. It doesn't disappear.
That's true.
And you never know who that can reach. Like, literally, people overthink things, but you turning your phone like this and being on a story like, yo guys, what's up on the podcast? You could have easily just been on your Canon G7X, which is just as big as your phone.
That's true.
Or you could even use your phone is just as, you've got that brand new phone. Your phone is amazing for vlogging. You'd be like, yo, I'm on the podcast. What's up, guys? It's going to be dope.
We just did that.
Yeah. And you could literally like just take 10 minutes, stitch them all together, put some stupid music under it, upload it to YouTube, and it's like, boom.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely think you have, like we were just talking about the other day, you have to move with technology.
Yeah.
We're going to see little drones flying around everywhere.
Yeah, right. Delivering our Amazon and our Uber Eats.
Yeah, right. I know.
But I totally think it's going towards a video-based content. Like, I think the future of content is video-based, personally.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Because you look at Instagram, where do you get the most traction? At least for me, it's on my stories, which are essentially video driven.
That's true.
And it's and people
don't really even look at the feed anymore.
Yeah.
I've noticed in the past 2 months that the likes have dropped dramatically.
Same for me too.
And I think it is because people are looking at stories more now than they're looking, because they want to see what you're doing in your real life.
Exactly.
They don't want to see your static posts.
That's so true.
Because those are ads. Those are marketing, right? For brands or whatever. But what people are putting in their stories is what's authentically them, hopefully.
I mean, that's so true, because I get more views on a story than any post I put in my feed, hands down.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so true now I think about that. It's like maybe people are like starting to like wake up to everything and just kind of be like, okay, the post is cool, but we want to see you, which is why the vlogging makes even more sense, because I'm just like, God, it's so easy. People don't realize how fun it is.
Yep. And I think you hit the nail on the head there too. People want to see what's authentically you. And with bloggers and with influencers, I think that is more apparent now than ever. is having a why, having a mission, having a purpose for what you're doing, because you have to set yourself apart from everybody else and you want to make a difference. It's not about you. It's not about your dress that you're wearing. What are you putting that on for?
Like who really cares?
Right. Like it to know it. Hashtag it.
Like who really cares besides the 500 guys who follow you for your triple Ds? That's why they care about you. It's like, where's the substance there?
Right. So, and I'm not downing anybody about like it to know it. I'm not. I was doing it at one point and I found it to be not valuable. But yeah, like there definitely is a good, because you take some of my photos, there is that visual catch and that visual like draw in that you do, that I do at least, and I know bloggers do. But for me, it's like, okay, that photo, it catches you, but then there's the beauty of it.
But that should lead
is
you
in the
to
caption.
It's like the photo should just lead you to where
exactly
the person's actual intentions are.
Exactly. So instead of doing this and click right, like, oh, I want to stop and I want to see what this photo means.
Well, that's true. Maybe that's why the Getting Ready Likes is better. I like the fact that it's getting out because it's not just see and click. Now it's like see, and if you want someone to know you fuck with it, it's like I have to leave a comment. Even just an emoji, I think is so much better than just a shallow heart. Yeah. Any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I would rather have no comments and no likes and just have stories that people could respond to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it feels like such a more real engagement with my audience.
And it's not showy.
Exactly.
And that's the silent women. That leads me back to that. Some people don't want to be out there to be out there every 5 minutes commenting on people's stuff that everybody else can see. Like if I have a really powerful message and a really powerful photo, and then I put this message out, and then if somebody comments on it, and then, one of their friends sees and they're like, oh my gosh, well, if she commented, she must be in the same situation, or she must have had that happen, or, whatever. So, taking, I think, that away from at least some stuff that I put out, and then having it just be in the messages, I think there is absolutely value in that, and where it's not out there for the whole world to see.
And this is me trying even harder to convince you to go to YouTube, but I get more outreach from YouTube. Like the way I compare Instagram and YouTube is that a subscriber on YouTube is like a diehard. Like no one ever unsubscribes. Like every YouTuber I have is worth 100 followers on Instagram because they will like you on YouTube and they spend this time with you. They get to know you as a person, and then of course they'll follow you on Instagram because why not? They between the videos. But I've had so many people who've literally become friends who just DM'd me like, yo, I love YouTube videos. Yep. They started replying to my stories, and now we're just like legit friends who've never met. Yeah. When he lives in, but it's also crazy because they're from all over the world.
That's beautiful.
Like they'll be from Peru, from Bolivia, from wherever, and I'm just like, this is so nuts.
That's
like I never knew that these people were watching. Like this is crazy.
That's so cool.
And so me convincing you is saying that you could impact people across the world on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. You're right.
I'm really trying.
Thank you. I love it, and I will absolutely look into it. But what you just said is really cool too. With Instagram, we know each other through Instagram,
right?
And a lot of the people that have been some of my biggest supporters and biggest friends that will take me, into years and decades, I've met through Instagram.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it?
That's so beautiful.
So while there's so much, these people have negative, ideas about social media and Instagram or Facebook or whatever, for me, Instagram has been just so powerful in my healing and in my growth and in my way to connect with other people, especially in the DC area. And I seriously, I love Instagram for that.
Yeah, in a way, it's kind of like a diary. Like I love that I can go back 2 years, 3 years and look at my old photos and be like, oh my God, I shot that. What the fuck?
I know.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And now we have to move that to our own pages. because
so you can control your audience.
You can control your own.
Mm-hmm. That's huge too. It's like if Instagram dies tomorrow, do you still have a photography business?
Right.
Are you still a blogger?
Right.
Like, where do you lie there?
Right.
Just so scary for a lot of people.
That's very, very scary to think about.
Right. Like if it was just deleted tomorrow, how fucked are you?
I mean, the world would be in chaos.
I legit think the world. Do you remember when Instagram went down for like 3 hours?
I remember
earlier, like midway through the year. And people were like, oh my God, I can't post. I can't look. Like, people were legit freaking out. Memes were made.
Yeah.
Memes were made. Talk about the great Instagram depression. Like, this was a real thing.
Oh my gosh. That's so sad.
God.
That's why you got to get text message. Get your phone numbers, people.
Dude, that's the new wave.
Yeah.
Everyone's
phone numbers
about...
and emails. I just started doing that. Yeah. I need to get, I'm working on new website with SEO and all that stuff. But yeah, collecting those emails and having the emails of the people that you're connected with on Instagram is huge. And I didn't realize that until putting together this charity event.
No, it's so big because then you can deliver a newsletter. You could actually give them relevant stuff that's helpful, but also the number is big. Because I think new laws changed where now you can have these numbers. So there's like a new service. I don't remember what it was, but Gary Vaynerchuk is like big on it. He's always like, text me at this number and you can directly reach out. So essentially it's the same idea where if I sent a text using this app, it would send it through that number, right? So I could just be like, what's up guys, hope you all have a great day, and it could reach thousands of people.
Wow.
But it's no different than having a bunch of emails, except it goes straight to your phone as a text, which is way different and way more in the way it impacts you than if it's just in your inbox.
That makes sense.
It's like in your inbox is a whole another layer of you having to go get it, as opposed to, oh, Brittany texted me on Friday. That's when she texts every Friday like some affirmations. Like, think about how cool that could be.
Oh my gosh, I love that idea.
And so like now that
is amazing.
Yeah, everyone's pushing towards this texting platform. Like everyone's talking about it right now.
Whew.
I'm blowing some minds today, right? Like
I'm like reaching over for my quick notes.
I wish I knew what that app was. I think it's called Companion that comes in my mind, but I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. I don't know. I really don't know.
I'll have to look it up. Well, you'll remember later and text me.
Yeah. yeah. I'll DM it to you. Yeah. So Brittany, I mean, I feel like we're naturally coming to the end here. It's been like fantastic. Before we depart, besides your event on December 5th that people can find out if they follow you on Instagram, is there anything you want to say to any aspiring bloggers or any of these women who could perhaps use some of your advice? Is there anything that you'd want to say if they're listening right now?
Yeah, to the bloggers and to the influencers, coming up with that why, your why and your mission and what your purpose is going to take you from, 20, 30% to like 100%. Like when you take the focus off of yourself and your own, I don't even want to say vanity, but your own like personal, what's the right word, Bruce? Like your own personal, like,
when it takes you away from like what you're doing on there, or
no, taking away from your own
image.
Yes.
Like what you put out there as like how you project yourself in a way.
Yeah. Like take the focus off of yourself and put it out to, how can I, who is my follower?
Oh, so almost like a business. That's like, what problem am I solving?
Yeah. Yeah. What is my purpose?
Yeah. What is my why?
Period. What is my why? What is my purpose? Know who your followers are. Watch those analytics and see what is affecting and like relating to your audience the most.
So true.
And then posting more of what your followers want to see. I notice a huge increase in my analytics when I'm posting things that are my story, or things that
when you're being authentic,
powerful like messages and stuff like that. Absolutely. So I think I know that is my number one advice to bloggers is, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And who are you doing it for? And taking the focus off of yourself. You have, some of these bloggers have, 1,000 to 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
That's one, even just 10, if you have 10 followers, that's 10 lives that you can impact.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah. You shouldn't scoff at even just the smallest of audiences.
You can have 10 followers, and that's 10 people that follow you, that you can impact their life, in a positive way. And so that is my advice to them. And to the women that aren't influencers or bloggers, but just go out there and want to follow along and into, what we're doing, is obviously take it with a grain of salt, I think, because not everyone is doing it for purpose or for why, for their mission.
That's true.
So, try not to take it too seriously. You don't have to have that Gucci bag. You don't have to have those Louboutins, you know what I mean? Or that Chanel bag. It's not going to make you beautiful. And so to the women that are out there following them, just again, take it with a grain of salt. That's not really, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, that may be their life, but
True.
You never know. You never know what life they're projecting or whatever. So to the bloggers, stop with the like superficial. I want to see one of my friends says, I want to see, if you have a baby, like I want to see the milk poured out all over your perfect kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the floor. Like, what is it really like?
The real, the authentic, the relatable.
Absolutely. I want to see you crying because you can't breastfeed and you're just like trying so hard and it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like those type of real things that are relatable, that women need support for and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what? Anthony Bourdain killed himself, and he had the best job on the planet. It does not get much better than that. He got paid to travel and eat food, and to get paid millions of dollars to do it and meet some of the coolest people, and he still killed himself. So if there's ever a testament to like, it doesn't always look how it seems. Like, look at Anthony Bourdain. Rest in peace, Bourdain. One of my biggest influences in life. But I always think back to that, and just it's never what it seems. Sure, they might bloggers might go to events and do all this glamorous brand deals and whatever.
What happens behind the scenes?
But yeah,
that's
you
the
don't
stories,
see behind
hopefully.
the scenes. Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
Find that why.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Brittany, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
great.
for having me.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to the future.
Yes.
It'd be great.
To the future.
So guys, please shoot her a follow, check out her blog and everything that she does. That's it for me. That's the angle. Peace. Awesome. Yeah.
That was great.
That was sweet.
That was awesome. Okay, we got to get a selfie.
Yeah. Here, just let me stop the recording.